So I met another live one. His name is Ben. We were talking about he's been all over the world. He grew up in France and he teaches French here at a local community college. And we were just talking about the sort of barriers that people in America, and it's not all of America, I'm not trying to generalize everything, but we have a lot of barriers up that actually stop us from getting that intimate human connection that we all need. And this was, of course, a part of the trauma that the kids here undergo as they grow up and try to become something. And we were talking about how in America we have it backwards. It's not even just America, just society and culture in general tells you that you start off well, if you're in a religion, you're starting off in sin. But even if you take the religion out of it, our culture is always telling you that you need to become the best version of yourself. You're not there right now. It's something you got to work on. And that's the reverse of how it is. How it is you start off as a baby, clean and perfect, and that's the best version of yourself. And then the whole crowd starts throwing stuff on you, and then you pick and choose this and that and the other thing. And then you set your goals out, you put your carrot out, 20 years off in front of your nose, and then you forget to stay present. So you're basically taught to forget that you are whole and complete as you are, and then you're installed with a carrot, many carrots. There are so many carrots, oh my god. But there are lots of carrots dangling in front of your nose, and you're only ever thinking about those, and you're forgetting that you're a living human being. You're a living, present essence. Something else he said, he's like, I didn't know what depressed meant. I had this feeling, he's like, I had this feeling when I was at work. He's talking about after he came here. He's like, I had this feeling and something felt weird. And he asked his coworker or his boss, he's like, I don't know what this is. And, they asked him some questions and talked with him, and they were like, well, you're feeling stressed out. Or kind of depressed. Excuse me. And he's like, I never felt that before. Very strange. And how in other countries, if somebody's visiting or like they welcome strangers, they welcome travelers into their homes without knowing them, without knowing their past, their identity. And again, here we have it flipped, and to do anything at all, you need to produce documents and basically be declared safe. And this sort of disease has spread from the businesses into the households and the people, the individuals, and neighbors just distrust automatically. And that goes, of course, hand in hand with the kind of thing that you don't need to know your neighbors here. There isn't a built-in need to know them. But yeah, it's nice to meet. See, I know some people have mentioned when I complain about NPCs or when I complain about, the zombies or the living dead, people say, well, you should, don't go in there with the attitude that everyone's going to be a zombie, because maybe that's why they aren't speaking up. And that's partially true, but usually people have tells, like for instance, this whole setup on my dash, there's a story behind every little object that's on there. Somebody, these are all from individual people, and it's not something you would normally see inside of a vehicle. And that's a tell for me if somebody even notices that there's something sitting on the dash, and most don't. And I can ask somebody, what are they doing, or how do they feel about this, or how do they feel about that. People, it's not difficult to figure out somebody's energy. But then again, I also don't always want to talk. I don't want to always share or have discussions or try to find, somebody who's sort of more aware than the herd, because that requires effort in and of itself, and I don't have unlimited reserves. But anyway, I was happy to meet and as far as NPCs go, or what we call normies, I don't ever condone thinking of any other human as a lesser or a greater or an anything. I just know that there are different types of beings that are walking around here. There just are. And if somebody is a one type, then you can have a certain sort of conversation with them. And if they're a different type, then you can have a different sort of conversation. But everyone is not the same. And so on. Anyway. All that stuff. So, take care, people. Bye.